Welcome to the Mawang Voice. This is a space for reflection, a space for conversation, and a space for truth-telling. I created this podcast because I believe we are living in a moment where many people are speaking, but very few are talking to one another. We are surrounded by opinions, yet starved of understanding. Surrounded by noise, yet lacking meaning. So in this first episode, I want us to talk about conversation and why conversation matters more than opinion. Here's the thing. Opinion is everywhere. Everyone has one, everyone is certain, everyone is loud. And yet despite all these opinions, we seem more divided, more suspicious, and more disconnected than ever before. And that tells us something important. The problem is not that people have opinions. The problem is that opinions have replaced conversation. Opinion is easy. Conversation is demanding. Opinion costs nothing. Conversation costs effort. Opinion requests to be heard. Conversation demands that we listen. And listening, that feels like a lost art today. Let's be honest. Most of us do not listen in order to understand. We listen in order to reply. We listen in order to win or to defeat someone. Conversation, when it is real, disrupts that instinct. It forces us to slow down. It forces us to sit with ideas that may challenge us. It forces us to recognize the humanity of the person in front of us. Opinion does not require any of that. Opinion can be formed quickly, expressed quickly, and be defended aggressively. Conversation, on the other hand, unfolds over time. It requires patience. It requires humility. It requires restraint. And that is precisely why conversation matters. I am not saying opinion is useless. Opinion has its place. Opinion gives direction. Opinion reflects conviction. Opinion helps us articulate where we stand. But opinion without conversation becomes dangerous. Because when opinion stands alone, it hardens. When opinion stands alone, it becomes identity. And when opinion becomes identity, disagreement feels like a personal attack. Conversation prevents that hardening. Conversation reminds us that behind every opinion is a story. There is a background, there is a fear, there is a hope, there is a wound, there is a lived experience. You may disagree with someone's conclusion, but conversation allows you to understand how they got there. And understanding changes everything. We are living in a culture that rewards certainty and punishes curiosity. If you express doubt, you are seen as weak. If you ask questions, you are seen as undecided. If you pause before responding, you are seen as uninformed. But conversation thrives on curiosity. Conversations begin not with statements, but with questions. Not with answers, but with interest. Because the truth is not something we shout, but something we search for together. Even Christianity at its core is not just a collection of doctrines. It is a relationship. And relationships are sustained by conversation. Prayer is conversation. Scripture is conversation across generations. The church itself grew through conversation, debate, correction, and discernment. Even Jesus modeled this. Truth in the Christian tradition is not only proclaimed, it is encountered. And encounter requires conversation. Conversation builds community. Communities are not formed by agreement alone. They are formed by trust. And trust is built through repeated honest conversation. That is the vision behind the Mawang Voice. This podcast will not always be comfortable. It will not always confirm what you already believe, but it will always respect your intelligence and your humanity. We will ask hard questions. We will reflect deeply, and we will speak truthfully. And we will do so through conversation. This is the Mawang Voice. Thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing conversation. Until next time, goodbye.